Hey Stampin' friends, welcome to the Joy of Stamping with Rachel. I'm Rachael Coon and it's our Wonderful Wednesday. Today is a extra special Wonderful Wednesday because it's the last one of the month and it means I am sharing with you some paper pumpkin extra ideas. So things that I use with the stamp set after the kit is all gone. Going to hold while I flip and we'll get started. All right, hopefully you guys can see everything okay. I'm always out of focus when I come back after being on break. All right, so here's the paper pumpkin for October. It is sold out. There are no refills, so this is just mostly for your own enjoyment or if you already have this kit. If you're here, feel free to say hi. I love it when you guys are watching live. That's fun to see who's here and who can stamp along with me. All right, so this paper pumpkin is called The Peaceful Christmas October 2021 and is fantastic. Let me show you about this one a little bit. And I want to tell you how special paper pumpkin is to me. I'll tell you a little bit about how it started my story as well. Okay, so inside we have, of course, the instructions and then how to make these two cards here. This Noel one and this Christmas, Merry Christmas one. And it comes with these gorgeous envelopes that are foiled with trees on the very bottom of it. There's been lots of demonstrators who have went ahead and they take this envelope apart and use it to make more cards. I've also seen people taking, grab it, the card base. Oh, maybe I can grab it, huh? So the card base for this one comes with this tree one, and people have been cutting this at the score and making two separate cards even with this because that's the front and the back. So there's lots of fun extra ideas to make with this card or with these pieces from the kit. However, I like to show you things you can make after with just the stamp set alone. And what I'm doing today is mirroring our cards from the kit. So if you really like this layout and you wanted to make some more, but now all the pieces are gone, and I told you the refill is even available, but you want to make them yourself, let me show you the pieces you can use to do that and kind of give that same layout and feel. So let me show you, these are the originals. We have the Noel card that's super pretty with that vellum and using that shaded spruce. And then we have this fun Christmas tree one. And it's very simple, just has a couple of the circle, that's like a DSP image, and then the label and this fun little piece of cherry cobbler, little banner piece. So super simple layouts. And then let me show you the ones that I've made that look just like them, but with different items. All right, so we have this one here, which is a pool party card base, and instead I've used the evening Evergreen, let me see, make sure I have the name right, Evergreen Forest 3D embossing folder to create our trees for this one. I've also used a piece of DSP to create this little circle that I've die cut out with my layering circle dies, but if you have that circle punch, you can use that instead. And then I have used my, let's find them. I have them so I can show you guys. In here I have these labels, the Tasteful Label dies, and I use that one for our label here that's very similar in size. If you don't have these dies, you can substitute it for punches too. So the circle punch, another label die punch, and here's that embossing folder that just has that great trees. It's made so that it has this top part is blank and the trees are there. So you can stamp it and have it these empty space here as well. All right. So that's what I've added a little differently to this one. I also changed the color to just the white twine and I've used my holiday rhinestones. But it's basically the same layout right there. Let me go ahead and show you the other one. There is no die cut for Noel currently. There is a retired one, so if you have that one in your stash, you can totally use that. But it is in that silver foil, so I went ahead and made it with our Christmas. And then I use the Majestic Mountain dies to create our trees out of vellum, and I've used our Heartwarming Hugs DSP for our fun background. Kind of has that same look, just a little bit smaller and in a different shade of green. I've also used my In Good Taste DSP to have that wood paneling right there as well. And again, those holiday rhinestones. So very similar layouts, but just a little bit different. If you don't have the dies, the Majestic Mountain dies, you could even use the evergreen border right here. That's a punch. So if you don't have dies, you can use punches instead. They're a little bit less, and they're great if you don't have the die cutting machine yet. And if you're just beginning, that's the best way to start, is with punches. So there are substitutes you can use to have the same type of cards. Let me go ahead and show you how we make them. We set this one aside, and we'll do this one first. All right. So for this one, it is pretty awesome. I have that pool party, which I wanted mostly to create like that blue sky, and just as a big difference from what we had before. Let me grab the pieces out for this one. All of the measurements and everything will be over on my blog later today, so you guys can look for them there. So we have our pool party base, and then we also have this embossed piece of that trees, which are just awesome. This one is a 3D, so this one looks like it pops up more than the background images. It's a really, really cool feature. Then we have that die cut label. We have a strip of 3.5 of the cherry cobbler by 1/2, I believe, an inch. And then I've cut out 2 different shades of the DSP. We decide this one was from the Play Party Patterns host paper. I always forget the name. I will double check. So this one I just had matching that same our card base and images, that pool party, but you can switch it up and make it look more Christmassy depending if you want it to be the green or if you want it to be more red to match with the cherry cobbler. Totally up to you. But these ones are the Heartwarming Hugs DSP. And this is just to show you that this was a punched out label, which you can use if you don't have the dies. All right, so our first step for this one is let's go ahead and stamp our Merry Christmas or one of the awesome stamped images that come with this kit. Let me show you those real quick so you can see them. All right, so we have this fun snowflake one we'll be using, and I have the holiday cheer right now on a block. I already did the Merry Christmas, and I have done the peaceful Christmas wishes, and then these little ones are better for like the inside greetings. So one says wishing you and your family all the best, and the other one says sending you peace and joy all year long. So those are great for the inside. You can make that on the outside if you want as well, but these prettier font ones are awesome for the front of the card. All right, let me grab our shaded spruce. Actually, I might actually change it up. So shaded spruce is the color that came with your kit. So that's how I did this one. I'm gonna go ahead and switch it up and use my Mossy Meadow only for this card because that's the colors that I'll find that match my circles of my DSP. And that's a great method of picking inks, is by what color your paper is to match those. All right, let me see, here we go. So this is Holiday Cheer. I have my foam mat underneath already, so it's good to go. However, I haven't inked this one up yet. So I always like to do one practice stamping before I stamp on my paper, especially when it's a kit and I have limited amount of cut up pieces. That turned out great. Just in case there's like a fuzzy piece on it, or it always inks better, I feel, the second time than the first time. All right, so we're gonna put Holiday Cheer right there. Awesome. And then that's all the stamping for this one, unless you want to stamp the inside with one of those greetings. Totally up to you. All right, then let's go ahead and grab this and our paper snips, and I'll show you how to banner the edges or flag the ends, however you want to call it. We're going to take the center of it and just do the tiniest little cut. If you want your banner edges to be a little bit more pointed, you can go ahead and make it a deeper cut with that center one, which I did that for one of the cards, and I just don't like it as much. I like this to be very small and just a gradual one. And for these measurements, I totally just took out the kit and measured what they used. It's a great way to copy and follow and reproduce, instead of inventing the wheel again. You just use these fun layouts that you already like with the supplies you have. All right, so we've flagged both of our ends. That one's ready to go. Let's grab in our piece of Pool Party with this embossing trees on it. And we're gonna grab our Whisper White or Basic White craft ink. I still have the old ink, which says the Whisper White on it, but it's just a craft white. Is this the color we'll be using? We want to do a couple things with this one. I have a sponge, and I'm just going to ink it up into my craft ink, and I'm going to rub it along my trees. I'm trying to create that snowy look that we have on trees during Christmas. Well, depending on where you live, I do not get snow here in LA, oddly enough. All right, so I'm just going over all those, and because those are embossed and popped up, those are picking up the color really well. You can go over them a little bit more or thicker on areas that you want to be darker. All right, see like that. Super. Very subtle, but it makes it look really nice. It look even really nice in the green too. So if this was a green piece of paper and you did that, we just have a green sky. So that's why I picked the blue. All right, next we have our Snowflake Images. So you can focus on that, sorry. Nope, believe me, these are Snowflake Images that came with the kit. And we're just gonna stamp them on our top of our trees. So they're in the sky, so it looks like it's falling down. And then if you want, you can even stamp them on the trees themselves to give a little bit of that snowflake look. Okay, see, it's very subtle, you see it right there. If you want to make this a definitely more dominant look to it, you could use the white embossing powder instead of just the ink here. And that would make those snowflakes really come out. I just wanted it to be very subtle, very soft. All right, so we have that done now. Let's go ahead and attach that to our card base. I like to use liquid glue when I am using an embossed images or embossed paper because my tape runner sometimes will get caught up on all these bumps and it just doesn't cover it as well. And you want the glue to squish down and fill in all those grooves. I told you a little bit in the beginning that I love Paper Pumpkin and it's a big part of my Stampin' Up story. So for those who know me knew that I had joined 2 different clubs before actually becoming a demonstrator with 2 different demonstrators, and both those demonstrators had to quit because of their upcoming pregnancies, and they just knew that they couldn't handle doing stamping and having a newborn baby. And so I had no one to stamp with, and luckily Stampin' Up came out with this subscription where I could get it each month, and I would have set directions of how to make a card or fun little treat holders. What do you guys think? Should I do this one or this one? There's like the green look with it or the red with the red. Let's do the red and the red. Okay. So I started doing Paper Pumpkin like the very beginning. I want to say I joined and started in February, and back then was way different than it is now. It has improved by leaps and bounds. It was still pretty awesome, but it's come a long way. It's just gotten better and better with time. But that was a thing that really helped me to be able to stamp still and make great things without knowing very much yet. And I didn't have a huge supply of crafting stuff at that very beginning stages. All right, I'm gonna put a couple of dimensionals on here. I just use liquid glue to attach both of those layers, just like the kit, or they use glue dots. So it just depends on what you have. 2 dimensionals on there. I'm gonna offset it from the circle just a little bit and put it right over that banner. And then we're gonna just add a little bow with our white twine. All right, so that is what kept me stamping. Paper Pumpkin did. And even though I have a craft room of supplies now, and I don't really need instructions, I feel like I still value Paper Pumpkin. I love it because it lets me have creative freedom, and it also kind of pushes me to try something new that I wouldn't otherwise do. So I love Paper Pumpkin. The next one you just have to subscribe for by the 10th of November if you want next month's kit. It's another Christmas theme one, but they're treat holders and they look super cute. All right, so I have this little bow here. They give us these little glue dots that come on this piece of film that are great because they're easy to remove. We'll take off the backing and then we'll just put our knot to the dot here. And I like to put this loose one behind the label instead of in front so it doesn't cover up the things. And then we just need a couple of rhinestones. So I started in February with Paper Pumpkin and I had it all the way until I joined in October. Many of you guys know I've been celebrating my 8th stamping anniversary this whole month long with doing special deals. So be sure to look and see what those deals are if you haven't already and place an order before the end of the month to get some extra happy mail from me. All right, so I just put in a couple of these holiday rhinestones, which are great because they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different shades of rhinestone. I love those. All right, let's grab our bone folder, flip it over, and that one's done. We've made a replica or kind of like a mirror image of that Paper Pumpkin card. Perfect. All right, let's go on to the next one. Again, it's just like the one from the kit, but a little bit different. So here's what the kit came with. Here's what we're making today. We'll put that right there, and we'll grab out our pieces. So I'm using Mossy Meadow. That's my card base color and mostly the color theme from the DSP. Because it's Mossy Meadow, I did add a piece of basic white for the inside where I went ahead and I stamped the cute little tree image and the Sending You piece, Enjoy All Year Long. So cute insides for this one. So I've die cut the vellum for the trees and then I just cut out a piece of that In Good Taste DSP. And that measures, let me see, I have it written down. That was 7/8, so less than an inch by 2 5/8. Kind of an irregular measurement there, but it's the exact same one that came in the kit. All right, then we have our Christmas. Oh, this one comes from, let me grab those dies. I think I have them handy still. Yes, these are the Word Wishes dies. So there's lots of different holidays that come with this one. And there's even a Merry Christmas. I just have Christmas on this one this time, but I love how it turned out. And I use that foil paper. All right, so if you don't stamp the inside, there actually is no stamping for this card. It's very, very simple. We're gonna go ahead and put dimensionals on the back of this one. Oh, wait, I lied. I just lied. There is stamping. It's very, very subtle though, but we wanna make sure we don't forget it. We're gonna grab our trees from the kit. So if you don't have the kit, you could totally skip this part and it'd be fine. For this extra little step, I'm using the Mossy Meadow ink. We're gonna put some trees in the background of our vellum trees. So we'll grab it and we'll ink it up. And go about left past the midway point. Just like that, press down and lift up. Perfect. Should we go ahead and stamp the white too while we're at it? We might as well. Let's get that part done too. I might change the inside same though. I just have it going at the bottom corner. Those trees, if you wanted to make a whole border of trees, let's go ahead and try that. Let's do that too. Just takes 2 times of stamping and it covers that whole bottom. Super cute. Okay. Oh, my goodness, you guys, I am so forgetful today. Let me find the stamp set and we'll add the inside piece. I put it in a safe spot and I'm not, oh, there we go. All right, let me go ahead and do the wishing you and your family all the best for the inside of this one. I have not inked this one up yet, so you know my rule. I like to do a practice ink really fast right here below. Looks good. And then we can put it right over here. Awesome. Okay, now we're done stamping. We'll set that aside and we'll get ready for our next pieces here. All right, dimensionals on the back. In the kit itself, it's just recommended one in each corner. I usually tend to like to do a little bit more when it's these big pieces because we don't want it to sag too much. And it just depends if you have enough dimensionals to cover you, then you'll be good. So if you already have made the kit, this is basically the exact same steps. I'm just showing you how to use your supplies you have at home to make more cards that look like your kit. All right, now let's grab our vellum trees, and we can just put dimensionals on the back or just a little bit of adhesive. I wouldn't use liquid adhesive for the vellum, but you could use one of each of these guys, or grab your Stampin' Seal and just do a tiny little slit. I'm going to just do a kind of like a little dollop on the center, and that will mostly be covered by the label that we're creating. And there's no rhyme or reason of how you can line up your trees. Put one there. I like to have them clustered just differently from, there's a 2 tree cutout and a single cutout. Let's go. And I like to have them going in different heights. So that one. And the vellum's fun because we can still see those trees just a little bit in the background. All right, there we go. We've created our little tree of vellum. Then we need to grab our DSP that looks like the wood and our little banner piece. And again, we're just going to banner those ends. Super easy. And once you've done this once or twice, you'll get the hang of it. Center cut, and then corner to center, and corner to center. We're just using the very inside of our scissors too. Don't use your tips. It's best to use right where the scissors meet when you're cutting. All right, now we can glue this onto our DSP here. So flip it over. And I just glue the center because some of those banner ends are not going to be on this little piece here. Put that on our piece there. And go ahead and grab your Christmas. So this one I actually use glue dots for, and it worked great. Usually I use liquid glue, and it's kind of messy. So I'm using the glue dots that came with the kit, which have those removable backings on it. Kind of like a dimensional in that way. So I can get it in my hands so we see better. And I just try to find like the thicker pieces of it. There we go. Remove the backings and then attach it to our little piece of banner here. I did not save the eye for mine because that's hard for me to do sometimes with that little foil piece, but there is an eye that dots it. So I use a rhinestone to dot my Christmas there. My Christmas eye. All right, we just need dimensionals now. Let's see if that's gonna stick on good. And then we can attach this over our trees. Grab at least 2, remove the backings, and go just about there. So we still want to be able to see the stamped trees, and we want to kind of cover up those center trees where they gather and overlap a little bit. Okay, let's grab our rhinestones, and you can use whatever color or even your regular color rhinestones, which is more like a silver look to it. I'm using the red ones here, and we'll use the tiniest one to dot our eye, like that. And then we'll add 2 more to this corner over here. One of the larger ones and one of the littler ones. If you wanted to add 1 more in this corner, that would be more like the kit. Because I have that dotted eye, I didn't want to throw off my numbers. So I like it to go in odds for embellishment. All right, let's go put a little bit of that seal on each corner in the center. And put your insert in. Perfect. Look how great that looks. I love the trees on that bottom border. Start to fold it, grab your bone folder, finish your fold, and press down your crease. And there we go. we have another card that looks just like, or pretty similar to our paper pumpkin, but using the supplies from our annual catalog and our mini holiday catalog. All right, you guys, I hope you've had a fun time. Let me show you what the other ones we've made. Our fun tree ones here. And of course, the originals. You don't want to forget those. Great cards, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've had a great time and enjoy your Wednesday. Happy stamping, everyone. Goodbye.